Hey guys, Rumblin Man coming to you from Florida, and in this video I'm going to show you my 5 favorite highlights from my second and final day at NAMM 2019. I know. Rumblin Man, only 2 days at NAMM, what in the world? Well, I'm just really busy here in Florida, so unfortunately I couldn't stay the entire week. But in 2 days I was able to hit most of the booths I wanted to hit. So all in all, a very worthwhile time. If you're a musician and you're thinking about going to the NAMM show, do it. You won't regret it. In the previous video, I showed you my 5 favorite highlights from my first of my 2 days there, and this is going to be my 5 favorite highlights for my second of 2 days there. So here we go. Highlight number 1 for me on the second day was Paul Reed Smith Guitars. What a great booth, I'll tell you. I saw a lot of great guitars in there, a lot of great acoustics. There were a ton of people in there, a great performance. I mean, a lot of their classic electrics like the Custom 24, just absolutely beautiful and versatile instruments that they make. They also had several of the SE line models on display. And wow, what a great booth. Nicely decorated. There's some great new things for 2019. And one of the greatest new things for 2019 is the new McCarty 594 hollow body. On this guitar, they paid extra close attention to the neck, which they call the pattern vintage neck carve. It's actually asymmetrical, and I believe the scale length of the guitar is a little over 24 inches, and it's really a beautiful piece of work. I think you're going to be hearing a lot about it. A lot of great highlights from this guitar in particular. There's a lot of beautiful enhancements on this guitar, including an updated bridge and some Phase 3 locking tuners. What I was most excited about, however, is the John Mayer Silver Sky model, which you'll remember came out, I believe, in 2018. Originally released in 4 colors, and they just came out with 4 more colors, and they're absolutely beautiful. I got to see them up close and take some pictures and videos. My favorite of the 4 new colors is Orion Green, but also we've got Dodge and Blue, Golden Mesa, and Mock Sand. All very cool colors. The Mock Sand, kind of a beige, kind of off-white kind of color. The Gold Mesa is just your straight up, Paul Reed Smith quality gold Strat style guitar, which was my dream kind of guitar growing up. I never knew that PRS would make a guitar like this, but they did, and it's beautiful. And I just love that Orion Green, man. You guys know I'm a big fan of green guitars. I got a green Telecaster, and man, I need to get my hands on one of those Silver Skies. I think they are the coolest thing in the world. I also ran into some good friends at the Paul Reed Smith booth. Spent some time talking to my buddy Ed from Mad Hatter Products. He's going to be sending me a very cool device to review. I also ran into Vertical Horizon alumni bass player, John Mayer alumni bass player, Sean Hurley, truly a master of the bass guitar, and also his protege, a good friend of mine, Mark Pacificar, was there as well. He currently plays with Vertical Horizon. And if you go to my Facebook page, you can see an interview I did with Mark not long ago. It's very cool, very informative. Also in the booth was Donovan White, who is the rhythm guitar player and backup singer for Vertical Horizon. A lot of great guys in there, and it was really cool to visit with them. So that was kind of the major highlight of my day 2 at NAMM. Highlight number 2 for me, my second and final day at NAMM 2019, was the Fender booth. And I gotta tell you, this booth was huge, and it was incredibly well done. You can see below just some footage of me walking around this booth. Fender was one that I knew that I had to stop at because I'm just a die-hard Fender guy, man. I've got 3 Fender Electrics at the house, and the Fender booth was just incredible, man. Fender's coming out with all these cool new custom shop guitars, and some of them are relics, and they are just totally vintage inspired. They are just mind-blowingly cool. Honestly, of all the booths at NAMM, there's no booth that I could give you a rundown of every single thing they had in this video, and I can't even begin to try with Fender. It's all so incredible, but I will say this, here's a couple highlights to me. The new Fender American Acoustasonic Telecaster. This is an invention that I'm pretty excited about because one of the things that I do with music is I play as a soloist here on the Florida coast, and I go with just an acoustic guitar, but sometimes I kind of wish I had an electric tone, and I do some tapping on the guitar and things like that. And so this kind of guitar, you can do all of that. You can have electric sounds, acoustic sounds, you just plug it right in. Brian Swerdfiger, who designed this guitar and has actually been appointed to a vice president of product development kind of position with Fender, is actually a friend of mine, and he is not only a genius when it comes to making instruments, but he's truly just a great guy, just a wonderful human being. He actually gave Six Wire's Andy Childs and myself an up-close tour of this guitar. And it's so cool. You can see the whole video on my YouTube page of me just standing there watching him go through the features. And here's a little clip from it right now.
So it starts with a maple parlor. So it's a little guitar.
Wow.
At the other end of that is a mahogany dread. So you ever wanted a parlor with a little more low end? Now you
Yes.
can do it, right? Take that sound, go in about 20%.
Another big highlight for me at the Fender booth is the new American Performer series. This series of guitars essentially replaced the American Special series, and we all know that the American Specials are great guitars, many with Texas special pickups. My Telecaster is an American Special Tele. The American Performers have some upgrades and they replaced that series, and a couple of those guitars I'm so excited about. One of them being the new Jazzmaster, and the one I took a look at has a Strat style tremolo, and the satin Lake Placid blue finish is incredible. Man, those guitars are something else, and I actually tried the Strat out one day at my local Sam Ash as well. Such cool guitars, and the basses, man. They have this great jazz bass in surf green, a PJ also in that cool satin finish. You can check those out in this clip. I'm really down with this, man. And it's another satin finished American Performer jazz bass. Satin urethane maple neck feels really nice, really smooth to play on. This is a really sweet bass. And the color, seafoam green. And man, I'm just excited about this series. So Fender, need you to send a couple my way because I'm interested in sitting right here and doing a full review of at least one guitar and at least one bass from that series. If I had wanted, I probably could have stayed in the Fender booth all day, but I had a lot more things I wanted to see and a lot more people I wanted to meet, so I had to head out. Highlight number 3 for me on day 2 was Lakeland. Oh man, if you've followed my writings over the past several years and my videos, you'll see that I mention Lakelands a lot. I, at this moment in time, in February of 2019, have so far never owned one, but I've played them. I have a friend who owns several, and I gotta tell you, Lakeland does not disappoint. They had this beautiful Skyline Series PJ bass and a really cool jazz bass just like it next to it, and then a black one over on the other side. But man, I picked this thing up and played it a little bit, which you can see me doing in the clip below. There's no audio really because the guy holding the camera was talking really loud. But man, that bass sounded so good. I mean, it sounded so good through that amp. That is seriously a killer bass, and they feel just fabulous. You know, the Skylines are Lakeland's more affordable basses, and what's interesting about that is that the quality is still astoundingly high. And another thing that just blew me away, and that is so cool to me, is that Lakeland is now making guitars. And they had 3 or 4 with them there. They had some straight up, you know, American-built Lakeland models and also some Skyline models. And these Skyline models are almost reminiscent of a Stratocaster. They have an HSS configuration, an HSH configuration, and I played them and they sound fantastic. I also picked up one of the American models and played it, and it sounded fantastic. Check out this clip real quick of me trying out this guitar. Wow, that tremolo is awesome. Yeah.
Really good.
I got to talk to Lakeland a little bit, and I talked to them and told them that I'd like to review a couple of their instruments, and they seemed up to it. So if you want to see one of these guitars on the Rumblin Man channel and one of these basses on the Rumblin Man channel, go to the Lakeland website or any of their social media, send them a message saying, you want Rumblin Man to review some of their products, because I got to tell you, I would be so excited to give you an up-close glimpse at some of Lakeland's products. They had a number of their basses there as well, and honestly, the brothers that run the company are just such great guys, very kind and personable people. If you are a bass player looking for a solid bass and a company to build a relationship with, I recommend Lakeland. And if you're a guitar player looking to play something new, something fresh, yet reminiscent of the past that sounds great, I recommend checking these guys out. And I really believe they'll work with you. They're great people. Highlight number 4 for me was Boss. Some of the great pedals I got to see. That Reverb RV500 unit, I need that. Honestly, I think that's a great competitor for the Strymon Big Sky, which is a very, very popular reverb pedal. I got to look at this beautiful wall of their stomp boxes and just all the cool classic style pedals they had and some of their new creations. I think Boss is going to be a favorite for years and years and years. I've owned so many Boss pedals over the course of time. I've probably got one sitting around in here somewhere. Seriously wonderful products. And also I got to see a little bit of a performance by a legendary guitar player known for playing with bands like Steely Dan, Mr. Skunk Baxter. So in terms of pedals, for me it was Boss and it was Ernie Ball too, because I got to tell you what, they have this new volume pedal that is also a tuner. It goes all the way down. I forgot the name of it, so I can't tell you right now, but it goes all the way down, mutes it, it's a tuner. It's a great new tuner with a beautiful digital display. Wonderful volume pedal. I don't know how much they cost, but I need one, man. Or the Ernie Ball booth was really cool as well. I didn't take enough footage and stuff to put it on this particular list, but that is an amazing new product, and I think John Mayer Instagrammed it, but so did I. So add me on Instagram for more gear views and more views of things I saw at NAMM. Right outside of the Ernie Ball booth, I ran into a gentleman who was about to play, and I got to get my picture made with him. Legendary guitar player, Albert Lee. A lot of you guys out there who are musicians and music fans have heard of this guy. And he's a cool guy, and he does a great job. He's always been a sensational guitar player, right up there with James Burton and guys like that. So it was very cool to get to shake his hand. Last but not least, highlight number 5 for me was the Taylor Guitars booth. Taylor Guitars have actually been friends of mine over the years, friends of my family over the years, and I've been to their booth in past NAMM shows that I've been to, though it had been several years, and caught a number of performances in there. I've developed a number of relationships with guys who worked at Taylor, and they're just good people. They're just a good company. I even got to meet Bob Taylor himself, and I got to tell you, it was interesting talking to him. He's doing a lot of great things for the environment. He's growing trees in other lands to make guitars, and I think he's really thinking about the future of guitar making and the future of the environment and how things are going to be. And I personally get the impression when I talk to Bob that this is a guy who cares. I think he cares about the people who play them, and I think he cares about the people in the world that cutting down trees and making guitars might affect. He told me about a couple new things he has coming up, and I'm excited to see what Taylor does in the future, but also excited about some of their brand new guitars. Brand new from Taylor are the new V-Class guitars. Now, V-Class does refer to a V-shape style bracing on the inside of the guitars. They come in a variety of woods, and I got to sit down and play 2 or 3 of them. They've kind of shaped these guitars in a way that they're going to be really good for recording. Personally, when I record acoustic guitars, I find myself a lot of the time dialing out low end, because you pick up a lot of low end when you put a condenser mic right in front of your acoustic. These are going to be great guitars for recording, and quite frankly, I wouldn't mind having one for doing some recording, I'll tell you that. One thing that I really love about these new guitars is that they finally come out with a shape that is a slope-shouldered dreadnought style. Not too different from what you might see in some of the more vintage-inspired Gibson acoustics. And I think that's really cool, because I've always kind of wished that, a company other than Gibson and Epiphone might make a more slope-shouldered dreadnought. And I'm sure there are other companies who do. I just think it's really cool that Taylor's doing it now. And one of my favorite acoustics that I saw while I was there was this really cool slope-shouldered dreadnought. It is a Builder's Edition 717E. And if you want to get me a present, you can get me that. Taylor Guitars is just a great company, and I really appreciate them. Taylor was actually my host this week in hooking me up at the NAMM show, which I very much appreciate. I want to say thank you to them. Their booth is always an easygoing place, full of nice people just hanging out, checking out guitars, and you even see the occasional jam session. in all, even though I got to go to NAMM for only 2 days, they were 2 great days. I saw a ton of friends, made new ones, talked to instrument makers, and I just had a wonderful time, and I would love to go back next year, so I'm planning on it, hopefully. And like I said earlier, if you are a musician or an instrument maker or whatever, and even if you're not going to have a booth or perform at NAMM or anything like that, just go, because you can make great relationships there. You can see great new products, take cool pictures and Instagram them, and just have a ball. So I'm telling you, NAMM 2019 absolutely rocked. It was a lot of fun. Guys, thanks so much for checking out my videos about NAMM. On Instagram, I actually just started my Instagram, Rumblin Man, last week, but I posted a lot of pictures and video clips from NAMM. Go on and follow me on Instagram, because I'm going to keep posting gear-related stuff and things I'm doing around the community. I also have Facebook, facebook.com/RumblinMan, if you have any ideas or need anything. But most importantly, please go on and subscribe to this YouTube channel. If you want to stay in the know and get my videos first, I need you as a subscriber, trying to grow this base, trying to grow this channel and what it does, get more products into review, which there are some great things coming up. I've already got some things that I have at the house that I need to bring over and review. It's just a matter of making the time to do so. If you want to help with making the time to do so, I do have a Patreon account as well as a PayPal account for the use of the Rumblin Man channel. The funds that you donate will go toward making more time out of my hectic schedule to review products, and also to making camera upgrades and getting in more gear to review. That said, I'll never pressure anybody to donate. I know we're all in a tight place and not everybody can afford to, and if you can't afford to, maybe you want to use your money for something else, and there's a lot of charities more important than me out there. And if you like this video today, go on and give me a thumbs up button, and thanks so much for checking me out. God bless all of you, and if you have any other questions about NAMM or ideas of things I should check out when I'm there next year, go on and hit me up on Instagram or Facebook. And until the next video, I will see you soon.